Hello, this is Carrie Brun. This is my qualitative research design portfolio for EDRM 801 for the University of South Carolina. The presentation will consist of two parts. Part 1 will include a proposed study that includes introduction and methods. Part 2 will include reflection and discussion, and will discuss the research approach, the alignment, and the working process. This research design portfolio will talk about two main points: STEM education and its identity, and Catholic education and its identity. The importance of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math programs in schools, whether they are in public, private, or religious institutions, is becoming very important. It is increasing with the demand of more STEM-based careers. STEM education has evolved from the shortage of trained people available to fill jobs in scientific and technological fields. In order to stay competitive and viable, Catholic schools must acclimate to the changing times and embrace courses of study that potentially challenge their Catholic identity. Educators must navigate these areas, accepting, modifying, and/or discarding pieces of the school's Catholic identity to successfully adjust to teaching STEM principles. When integrating a new identity into any school that already has an established identity, that can be extremely difficult. Catholic schools already have a Catholic identity that is based on Catholic doctrine. Integrating STEM into these schools means the integration of two identities, STEM and Catholicism. Some STEM concepts challenge Catholic doctrine, so teachers and staff must adapt. Literature review. If you're going to add another identity to a school, you must first think about the current established identity and the curriculum that might be based around it. Every organization has an identity, which is defined by their principles and their distinctive qualities. This identity is categorized by their stakeholders and sets them apart from other establishments. The Catholic school identity is no different. It has a long history teaching religious dogma. Catholic educators have a pronounced mission to evangelize Jesus' word while educating today's youth. When Pope Francis began his papacy in 2013, Catholic schools got renewed instructions. Pope Francis said, "Universities are outstanding environments for articulating and developing evangelizing commitment in an interdisciplinary and integrated way. Catholic schools, which always strive to join their work of education with the explicit proclamation of the gospel, are a most valuable resource for evangelization of culture, even in those countries and cities where hostile situations challenge us to greater creativity in our search for suitable methods." Although theistic evolution has been recognized by the Catholic Church since Pope Pius XII, many scientific ideas are still left for debate. Pope Francis asked Catholics to not interpret the Bible as a literal manual. The Catholic Church continually acclimates to science, as should its scripture. Pope Francis calls the Catholic Church to utilize integral ecology. This denotes the relationship between theology and science that Catholics are encouraged to employ, allowing them to integrate moral principles and standards into scientific knowledge. Catholic schools must find ways to connect between science and religion, especially if they're going to adopt successful STEM programs. Few analyses have examined the traits necessary for this integration to occur. One established study did review case studies at various Catholic schools, evaluating how these schools adapt to two identities, Catholic and STEM. This study noted that acclimating to two identities means a few options. They can choose one identity over another, integrate them together, prioritize the identities and amalgamate them, or disregard one of the identities altogether. What this study doesn't incorporate is what STEM disciplines are adapted and/or disregarded when integrated with the Catholic identity. Efficiency of the literature. This study examines the STEM disciplines that are integrated within the Catholic identity and which ones are adapted or discarded by classroom teachers to fit the Catholic school's Catholic identity. This can be used to offer effective support to teachers who need to integrate STEM education in Catholic schools. Significance of the study. Teachers are tasked with so many responsibilities. They wear so many hats, especially when they have to navigate their classrooms, students, administration, parents, and colleagues. All of these aspects influence their self-efficacy and levels of stress. In order to manage all of these, along with dealing with two identities, certainly adds to their level of stress. The scarcity of information about the teacher's perspective of STEM-focused factors, or scientific aspects that conflict with the religious doctrine at Catholic schools, is unfortunate, because the adaptation of identities and their discernment of what remains or is discarded within Catholic schools is imperative for the adoption of STEM programs in similar institutions. Research purpose. The purpose of this phenomenological study is to explore the elements at Catholic schools that are negotiated when adopting a STEM-focused program for classroom teachers at the school. The research question: how is the meaning of a STEM-focused identity adopted by Catholic school teachers? What we are trying to find out here are two sub-questions as well. What are the factors between a STEM-focused identity and a Catholic identity that must be negotiated within the school? How does the religious doctrine influence the teachers in their decisions to teach STEM-focused curriculum? How does the STEM-focused identity truly differ from a Catholic identity? What components of a STEM-focused identity challenge the Catholic identity? What happens to these aspects? Are they integrated, adapted, discarded? Phenomena and key terms. Phenomena: the teacher's perspective of STEM-focused factors, scientific aspects that conflict with the religious doctrine at Catholic schools. Key terms would be under STEM identity and Catholic schools. Research expectations. We hope to find STEM-focused factors that are discarded or adapted by the teachers to fit the Catholic identity at the school. Context and participants. The setting of this study will occur at Ascension Catholic Elementary School in Overland Park, Kansas. The population. There are approximately 600 K-8 students and 43 employed educators at this school. 37.2% of the faculty teach grades K-3 in a self-contained classroom. They teach math, reading and writing, science, social studies, and religion. 55.8% of the faculty teach grades 4-8, or they are specials teachers. They teach one or two primary subjects. Most teachers have over 10 years of experience, and all of them are certified in the state of Kansas. 9.5% of the faculty have been trained on STEM education. Minimal professional development has been offered in STEM at Ascension Catholic School and in most of the archdiocesan schools in Kansas City, Kansas. For this sample, we are taking 6 teachers from different grade levels and have varied educational backgrounds. The sample strategy will be maximum variation sampling. Every teacher will be asked to complete an initial questionnaire, which will be sent via email. The maximum variation sample of teachers will be selected upon review of the questionnaires. Research design. The goal of this study is to allow educators to elaborate on various segments within STEM education that must be tweaked or discarded due to conflicts with Catholic doctrine. Why is this a qualitative study? This study utilizes phenomenological research. Participants can provide information about the integration of STEM in Catholic schools along with any historical data that influenced any modifications. Observations and interviews will be utilized during the study. These interactions are open-ended, giving a more holistic view of the study's issue. Data sources. The researcher will observe the teachers in their classrooms during the initial implementation of the STEM program. There will be 2 observations. One will be scheduled and the other one will be impromptu, to allow the researcher to attend when their schedule permits. The researcher will take detailed notes using the observational protocol. The researcher will conduct 2 interviews based on previous observations with each participant. Interview questions will be open-ended. Questions to be addressed would include, how comfortable are you teaching STEM? What aspects of STEM can contradict the Catholic faith? How do you manage STEM principles that are controversial? And how do you address sticky areas with your students? Procedure. The first thing I will do is seek approval from the University of South Carolina and the administration from the Ascension Catholic School and Archdiocese of Kansas City, Kansas. I will also attend a faculty meeting and explain the study to the faculty. I will invite the faculty to participate, incenting them with a chance to win one of two $50 Amazon gift cards for their participation. I will also provide a consent form to those interested in participating. I will send the questionnaire to the interested participants via email. After review of the completed questionnaires, I will select 6 teachers to participate in this study via maximum variation sampling. Shortly after, I will observe the teachers and their classes twice. I will also create interview questions based on my observations. I will conduct 2 interviews with these same teachers asking open-ended questions, and I will take detailed notes and also record the interviews. Data will be transcribed and reviewed. Finally, I will share the results of the study with the participants. Ethical concerns. I will inform the faculty about the purpose of the study and make sure the overall objective of the study remains transparent from the beginning of the study to the end. I will gather consent forms from those who want to participate and make sure they understand that their involvement is voluntary. I will also make sure the participants' responses and feedback are confidential, as no one wants their job to be in jeopardy because of this participation. Questions will be using respectful language for all stakeholders. Researcher's role. The researcher has 9 years of experience at this school and has attended Catholic schools the duration of their life. They have taught in many capacities at this school, including a 3rd grade teacher for 2 years, enrichment coordinator for 7 years, and STEM teacher for 5 years. They have seen how STEM can be received within the school, which is often in a negative light. To ensure that the study is unbiased and neutral throughout the study, another unaffiliated researcher will accompany the primary researcher in data collection. Qualitative approach discussion. Qualitative and quantitative studies are both very effective. For the quantitative advantage, I would be able to see what interest the teachers have in STEM once professional development is offered to them. For qualitative advantages, though, I would be able to see what aspects of STEM would be negotiated or discarded within the Catholic school. Due to the type of information I was seeking, I felt qualitative would be much better because it would allow me to see specific aspects versus just the level of interest the teachers would have in STEM. Alignment discussion. The alignment was something that was an evolving process and still is. It is very challenging, especially for someone who doesn't have a lot of background in research design. The instructor's feedback was very helpful in aiding in my understanding. With every module, I came to have a better understanding of each study, its context, procedure, and its stakeholders. Each study or learning module must be changed when aspects are tweaked, and so having that understanding allowed me to do that successfully. Reflection on work in progress. The learning modules were very helpful. It allowed me to build on my knowledge. I started with something basic when it came to research design and was able to build into something more and more challenging until the end. The instructor feedback was essential. She was great about giving me prompt feedback, comments, suggestions, and I really appreciated that. The last part was the partner work. It really aided in stress relief because I felt that I wasn't alone in trying to navigate this subject that didn't come very easy to me. Overall, I found this course to be very enjoyable and I learned a great deal. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Please see my list of references for further information about my slides.